All right, well, I guess I'll begin. So we're going to start with drawing A5. So drawing A5, the first thing we're going to do is label. So in my top view, I have this little square that's separated from the rest of my top view. Remember, there's dotted lines, they're hidden. They just give us some information. My side view, I have this little square on top, separated from the larger section below. My front view, I have this little square on top. Then I have this kind of rectangular ring. Then I have this square in the middle. Now, that square in the middle isn't there. That square is a hole. And that's why we have our dotted lines in our side view and in our top view. Okay. So for instance, the dotted lines in our top view, they line up perfectly. They line up perfectly to the left and right edges of that hole. And the dotted lines in our side view line up perfectly with the top and bottom of that hole. Okay. So our front view only has two sections. All right, Jacob, we're doing drawing A5. So our top view has two sections, our front view has two sections, our side view has two sections. All right. Now, our measurements. Okay. So remember, the height has to go from the bottom edge to the top edge. So this total height would be what we want. And that would be 5/4. Which is the same as 1 1/4. All right. So who can tell me what's the width of this? What's the width of this object?
Four.
Yes. So the width from the left edge to the right edge is 4/4, which is 1 inch. Okay. Lastly, what about the length? You can tell me the length of this object. How long is this? Reminder that we see our length in our top view and in our side view.
4.
No. Our length would only be 3. So length is 3/4. Okay. So step 1 was labeling, step 2 was measurements, step 3, boundary box. So just going to make a 3D rectangle with these 3 measurements. Okay. So for my starting point, I'm going to go straight up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Then width of 4. So width goes up to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the height of 5, width of 4. And then the length goes up to the right, length of 3. 3. To find the back corner, so from the left, I take a length of 3. And from the right, I take a width of 4. So that is what your boundary box should look like. 5 high, 4 wide, 3 long. So I'll pause a minute for you guys to catch up. Okay, so hopefully everyone's at this point. Now we have to figure out what we're going to start with. So our top view has 2 sections, our front view has 2 sections, our side view has 2 sections. So it doesn't really matter. I'll start with my side view. What the heck? So I need to know which one of these 2 sections is sticking out further to the side. And to figure that out, I look at my other views. So, for example, my front view, I see this edge is closer to my side than this edge. And that edge corresponds to this section because they're the same height. So my front view is telling me that that lower section is all the way at the edge of my boundary box. Okay, so the length of it is 3/4, so that doesn't change. And the height of that section is 4/4. Okay, so in my side view, be right here, I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll connect that together with a line. Okay. All right. Next, I'll do the top view. Okay. Figure out which one of those sections is sticking all the way up. So, my top view, I have this little square, and then I have the rest of my top view. To figure out which one of those is sticking up higher, I'll take a look at my front view. So my front view, I see this edge is higher than all the rest. So my front view, that edge is higher than all the rest. And that edge is part of this section right there, as they line up perfectly. Okay, so that tells me it's that little square that's sticking all the way up. Okay, so I have to figure out where that little square is going to go. And how big it is. Okay, so I see it's 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch wide, 1/4 inch long, right? And I see it's also a 1/4 inch from the left edge, 1/4 inch from the front edge, and 1/4 inch from the back edge. Okay, so I'll find my 1/4 inch from the left and front, 1/4 inch from the left and back, and then it's 1/4 inch wide. So that top view would go right there. Okay. Okay. Now let's figure out in our front view, which of those two sections is sticking furthest out to the front. Okay, so let's take a look at my side view. I see that this edge right here is sticking out closer to my front view than that edge. It tells me it's going to be this ring that is all the way out on my boundary box. Brad, your question? So, Brad, you're unmuted. Letting you know. All right, so I can see that is 4/4 wide. Okay, that's what our boundary box is, and it's 4/4 high. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. But I also have to draw where my hole is going to be. Okay, so this hole is 2/4 wide and 2/4 tall. Okay, and it's 1/4 inch from each edge. 1/4 inch from the bottom edge, 1/4 inch from the left edge, 1/4 inch from the right edge, 1/4 inch from the top edge. Okay. So those are the corners of my hole. Okay, so this is that front section. Okay. All right. Now we can erase the lines of our boundary box that we're not using. So all of the top edges of our boundary box are going to go. So those 4 lines are going to go. So okay. And the sections of the lines in our front and side view. Oh, I went a little bit too far. There we go. All right. So the sections of the lines in our front and side view are also going to go. So I'm just going to trim those off. Okay. So at this point, our top view kind of looks like it's floating there. So we need to figure out, okay, how is that going to be connected? All right, so let's take a look at our back to our side view, okay? So we have this little square in our side view. Now, one of the edges of that section is already drawn. The top edge of that section is drawn right here. Okay. So we already have the top edge drawn. I see that it is 1/4 inch tall, 1/4 inch long. Side view is going to go right there. Okay. So our side view is done. We have our 2 sections. Okay. Let's take a look at our front view. So we have this little square in our front view, And one of the edges is already drawn, the top edge is drawn right here. Okay. So that front edge is going to be right there. It's a 1/4 inch tall, 1/4 inch wide. Okay, so our front view's done. Okay. Now, the rest of our top view. Okay. So the front edge of that top section is 4/4. That's already 4/4. The right edge is 3/4, and that right edge is already 3/4. We need the left edge and the back edge. Okay, so the left edge is 3/4 long. Okay, so from this left corner here, I'm going to go back 1, 2, 3, and we end up overlapping. This back edge is 4/4 wide. So from this right corner, take a width of 4. Again, we're going to kind of overlap. And that's that top view. The last edge we have to draw. Okay. We're going to have a line right here. Okay. That line is meant to show that we can see into the hole a little bit. So we can see the bottom of the hole, we can see the side of the hole.